Hey guys, this is Aaron coming at you with a video about risk versus reward and understanding how far can you push it and what are the ramifications. So if we've got risk on this side and we've got reward on this side, a lot of us sometimes don't know how to gauge that and make that decision to understand which way to go and know when to pull back and when to push it just a smidge further. And a lot of times it's because we don't know the price, we don't know the cost. If you can imagine if you're here and you're trying to make a decision on these two options right now, and you've got the option to open up another location, hire a third tech, bring on an additional service writer, every single one of them has a principle hidden down in a gem that's something you got to think about. One of those things might be, how does this affect others? And then it could also be, how much will it cost? It could also be, if this just goes absolutely wrong, will it take me out? And do I have advice? What viewpoint am I using? Meaning, are you coming at this from a place of just greed and you just have to do this because it's going to serve an ego? Or is it really something that it would be best for your business, et cetera, et cetera? Just this could go on and on and on. And if you think about it, just for a quick minute, when you've got these two options and you can go in each direction, I can always view in a situation some type of decision, and I can apply a lot of this thinking. How's it going to affect other people? Whose advice have I sought? You know, what's the different viewpoints I could look at the decision, etc. But when you think about this decision is going to affect the rest of your life if it's big enough. So when this decision's made, you have to apply reward and risk to it and understand how it's going to take you in that new direction. So the reward and the risk have to be viewed differently. So how does that happen? On the reward side, you're going to look at it and go, what are all the things that can go right? Okay? So what can go right? Over here, what can go wrong? When you think about it, everything that can go right, if you blind yourself to this side, you're going to see all these options, right? You're just going to be like, oh my gosh, this is going to take me to the next level. It's going to be amazing. You tell all your friends. But if you go over here to the risk side, you can just really get very, 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 very scared and conservative, and you can pull yourself back and say, this is everything can go wrong. It will never go great because in my past it never did before. So what I want you to see is that as you approach this decision, you have to approach this decision with a level of, concern, care, trepidation. You have to look at it and say, this could be a huge deal for me. And when you walk up to this decision, whether it's to put it in an alignment rack, or it's to open up a second, third, fourth location, to buy your building, to hire another team player, whatever it might be, you have to kind of give this a rating. And you have to say to yourself, is this going to be a small risk? We like to say, as Mike Brewster would say, will it wound me? Or is this a big risk? Meaning it could take me out. You have to ask yourself that. Could it wound me or take me out? I'm going to tell you right now, I'm never, ever, ever, ever going to do anything that can take me out. Ever. Ever. And because of what I've been through now, I made decisions that I did not spend enough time on the risk side, and I saw them almost take me out, right? So now it's made me swerve over here, and I don't even go down this path. And if you step back and you think about it, this wound route, this is such a big, this is where it gets crazy, guys. So many people, they'll die of 1,000 cuts. They'll get hit over and over and over. And you'll meet with them and you'll talk to them. You'll be like, oh my gosh, why did you make that decision? Why did you make that decision? Why? And you just keep chasing it. And every decision was never a decision that could take them out, but together they could. What I want you to see, though, is this wounding is such a freaking huge deal. There's a cost to it. There's a dollar amount you can attach to it. This will cost you dollars. This will cost you a lot of dollars, right? This is going to cost you everything. This just goes on and on and on and on forever. But this will cost you dollars. When you look at this situation and you say to yourself, I've got a decision to make. I'm either going to do it or I'm not going to do it. Well, I should say this would be not doing it. If I do this, it's either going to go really bad or it's going to go really great. I don't know what's going to happen. Inside of this decision box, there's multiple inputs. Who are the people involved? What is the economy like? And this could be in your family or whatever, but just for your business. The people, the economy, how extreme can this go in either direction? A lot of people don't do that. They don't. I heard about a guy once that opened up a shop, and he opened it up and it did incredibly well. It absolutely exploded. It was Greg Sands. And he opened the shop up and it just spit out manager after manager after manager. The thing, it was like over 250. It was in front of a Walmart, and it did over 250 like right out of the gate. And they literally had to close the store and get rid of the store because it was so freaking hard to run. It would chew up managers and spit them out. They were having car accidents in the parking lot because people couldn't get in and out of the parking lot. It's just one of those places where there was a moratorium on auto repair. They opened up the shop. Everybody needed a shop. There was no shop in the area. And it just blew up. And it was crazy. Well, a lot of guys, when they go into a decision, they don't think, what if it went incredibly right? So right it went wrong. What if it goes incredibly wrong, so wrong it takes me out? There's this full circle you got to think about in this decision. This decision is a big freaking deal. And when you go into this decision and you're sitting here and you're saying to yourself, man, what are my thoughts? You allow yourself to spend time. You allow yourself to spend resources on it and pursue it. But deep down in your subconscious gut, there's already something swaying you. You have to identify that. How do you identify that? You got to get guys around you that you know are super smart and want what's best for you. What we call wise counsel. And whether that's you're one of my clients, whether you're in a town that you don't know me, you know a guy that owns a bank, and you know a guy that does construction, you know a guy at your church, whatever, you go to them and you talk to them. Girls, I don't mean just guys, sorry, anybody. And when you go talk to them, you get their advice. And their advice, it can't fall on deaf ears. You have to receive it. You have to receive it, guys. And as it's coming in and you're listening to it, you got to pause. You got to relook at this. And you got to say, you know, what are the odds that this is going to go really wrong or it's going to go really right? If it goes really right, really, really right, there's not much cost here. But if it goes really wrong, can I afford it? Am I willing to get wounded? If it goes really wrong and it's going to be a huge risk, it's going to take me out, can I afford it? You know, I've talked about making sure you have 1/3 of the money you need to do any decision going into it. That way, no matter what, it's just an insurance safety net. You can stop yourself from having anything go wrong. A lot of times people don't want to apply basic small rules for themselves to situations and then do self-limiting decisions. Sometimes you just have to have a rule. I don't drink. I have multiple reasons for it, but they're my reasons. Some people say they don't eat gluten. Some people say they jog every day. Some people say they don't stay up late. They get up early. Everybody has their own rules, their own things they live by. And these decisions have given them a predictable outcome every day. In this situation for you right now, you have to look at this situation and you have to say, I have a decision to make. My reward could be amazing. What goes wrong could be horrible. How do I make this decision? What are the extremes? What people have I got around me that are going to be affected by my decision? Is it just me, or do I have employees? Do I have a fiduciary responsibility to my team to make sure that I look at this differently than I did before? What is my viewpoint? The wise counsel that I've sought out, are they actually wise counsel, or is it my college buddies, my high school buddies? You need to think through all of this stuff, because as you process and you understand when you go into a situation that this could go really right and this could go really wrong, and you've got your narrow viewpoint. That's the crazy part about this. Because you're right in the middle, you only see it from here. You're not way over here, you're not way over here. It's a very narrow viewpoint. When you stop and you pause and you think about it, and you wrap your mind around it, all of a sudden the light bulb starts to go off, and you'll see it differently. But you got to pause and you got to slow down. You can't allow yourself to get super excited and think about how great it's going to go. You got to be stoic about it. Many of us aren't able to do that. We can't control our emotions. Our emotions take off, they go crazy, and then we just run with it. And we find ourselves in a mess, and it's either taking us out or it's dying by 1,000 cuts, but it's not fun. And then you go and you ask somebody else and they go, well, crap. If somebody called me up and said, hey, Aaron, I'm broke, but I want to open up a second location, I'd go, yeah, that sounds like a great decision. And the guy goes, well, crap, that does sound pretty bad, doesn't it? I was broke. I did open up another location. What was I thinking? I had no reserves. I had to go into all this debt. What was I thinking? Well, I was thinking, this is the only one. If I don't get it, they'll misapply risk. If I don't get it, this building will go. This technician will go. It's the only guy I could ever find. I had to get this one. And then it blows up in their face. They tell themselves a lie to convince themselves they need to do it. You've got to be clear-headed when you go into these things. You can't believe this is the only deal. If you go in knowing there'll be multiple opportunities, there'll be multiple techs, multiple managers, multiple writers, multiple alignment machines I can buy, multiple buildings I can buy, locations I can lease, and you go into it with that angle, you'll hold yourself back. You'll be more confident in your decisions. You'll make accurate decisions that don't get you going down the wrong path. All right, guys. Hope this helps you. I will see you in the next video.